basic question. But generally speaking, from the past few years and few quarters, oil price is positively correlated to Nylex's financial performance, right? So, but how does actually oil price impact Nylex's business?
Well, generally, why is it that the oil price has got a positive correlation, somewhat, I think 70-80% to Nylex businesses? Now, Nylex got two part of businesses. One is manufacturing, which is less sensitive to the oil price. As mentioned, manufacturing, sometimes with the fluctuation of oil price, we should be able to pass back some level of cost to the customers, generally speaking, for manufacturing. But for trading, it's a bit difficult. Now, Nylex is a trader in solvents in Malaysia, for example, like methanol is one of the key products that Nylex trades. So when the price is on the downward trending, because we are the stockists, we are the traders, so the general rule is buy low, sell high. But because we are traders, we've got time farm, we keep the product. So it is on the downward trending trend. So the chances of buy low and sell high is lesser. But if it is outward trending, on the other hand, the chances of buy low, sell high is highest. That's why, generally speaking, when the price is on the downward trending, Nylex result did not perform too well. In the historical performance, when the oil price is on the outward trending, that's why for the traders like Nylex, and for the matter for a lot of traders in the industrial chemical industry, they will be able to experience better margin due to the outward pricing. So that's how the positive correlation between the oil price and Nylex trading businesses is.
Not much question, but has the Q2 result reflected this in the Nylex?
Generally speaking, yes. If you take a look at Nylex result, compared to the last 2 years, Nylex is on the recovery trend. Based on the public announcement we have made so far for the Q1 and Q2, Nylex is on the upward trend. Yeah, yes. So capture some part of this, yes. As you can see, the oil price rise is not overnight or not due to last 1-2 months. It's on a constant rise. So the lowest at one point, if you remember, I think about a year plus ago, somebody need to pay to take the oil, pay you to take the oil, because there's not enough storage and all that, and a lot of ships are stuck with a lot of this oil. So from then, it has been on the general recovery trend. So now, for example, the oil price is about 67, 70. Methanol prices, Nylex main trading product, the lowest of methanol prices was at 180 USD to 200 USD per metric ton. It was about a year ago, or about 9 months ago. Now it is trading about 300 plus. So generally, yes, there is a positive correlation between oil prices, generally speaking. It is not only oil prices, it's also a function of demand and supply. Right, so these two things, demand, supply, and also the oil prices. But as I mentioned to you, 70% to 80% positive correlation based on historical performances of Nylex. Yeah.
So even if the oil price remain the same, as long as it doesn't go downtrend, by right, Nylex should be profitable, right?
Generally, that is the observation. Yes. Yeah.
Because I see it is a profitable segment, just that in 2019, because oil price start to drop, and in 2020, the super worst drop. That's why those people were otherwise,
for 2 reasons. Yeah. Correct. For 2 reasons. One is the prices is on the downward trending. And second is because of the pandemic. When there's a pandemic, there will be lesser industrial chemical requirements. Now, when the economy is doing well, the industrial general industry will be doing well following the better economy. When there was a pandemic, the demand for a lot of product has come down. Hence, it is due to price and also the demand for the last 2 years. So that's a reason for the lower performances of the trading division. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I don't have any more question on Nylex. Rondi, if you have, you can ask.
Yeah, I mean, so on the methanol, how has the demand been in Malaysia right now, Mr. Lee?
Generally, we are seeing a recovery of better demand, and definitely the recovery of prices has already taken place from the low of 120 to 200 per metric ton USD to the current level of 350 to 380. So we already seen the price recovery. The demand recovery also, we are seeing the gradual increase in terms of demand. Generally, I think a lot of industries still got to go on. So we are seeing the recovery also in terms of demand, generally speaking.
Okay, so I guess I would like to move on to ethanol because that's a very sexy business right now. I understand that on your ethanol manufacturing, it's done via a subsidiary called FermPro. And
Yes.
how does this constitute to your overall industrial chemical segment actually, like in terms of top line and bottom line?
Well, in terms of top line, it's not significant because trading division contributes to 700-800 million revenue. Contribution from the ethanol production every month, I think we produce about 415,000 liters or 500,000 liters. So general revenue a year is about 30 plus to 40. So that is very small compared to the revenue of the trading division. However, ethanol during the pandemic, ethanol price shot up a lot due to the requirement of sanitizer, due to the requirement of all these cleaning agent. So ethanol prices go up. So do not mix ethanol with methanol. There's a huge difference. Ethanol can be consumed, methanol cannot be consumed. If you remember, I think about 2 years ago, there was a group of Myanmar. I think a lot of Myanmar, they mix they pre-mix ethanol with methanol. I think there were 27 or 28 deaths recorded 2 years ago. It's because of mixing the wrong product. So ethanol is for the consumption of food grade and also for the industrial use. Methanol is more for the industrial chemical use. So these two. So specifically referring to the ethanol, yes, I think for the last 1 year we experienced good profitability because of the higher price and because of the shortages of the ethanol. So in terms of profitability contribution, revenue, I told you already, profitability contribution, ethanol, I think the plant produced, with the amount we produce, generally speaking, I think we do about 8 to 10 million profitability for last 1 year, this financial year, because of the high price of ethanol, generally speaking. So that forms a very important part of the profit contribution for Nylex.
And can you give us some light on the current ethanol price? Like how is it like? I think I read somewhere and I understand that Malaysian ethanol price could be different than those ethanol price in other markets, right? Is that true?
Correct. Yeah. Now, Malaysia, we do have a lot of people producing ethanol. One of the biggest ethanol producer in the region is Thailand. They produce ethanol from sugarcane. They also produce ethanol from cassava, right? So for Thailand, because of the economy of scale, they can produce very competitive ethanol product. In Malaysia, to import ethanol, there's always a tariff. Because there are only 2 producers in Malaysia. So the general price for ethanol is for non-food grade is about 5-6 ringgit per liter. For food grade, which is 99.99%, for food grade, for drinking purposes and all that, it is not possible to have high impurity. So it needs to be 99.99%. That's about 8 ringgit. So that's general price of ethanol for the local consumption and for the price comparison here. But for Thailand, usually they are more competitive because they produce huge amount of ethanol, generally speaking.
And what about the price trend right now for ethanol? Because I mean, as you know, a lot of hand sanitizers price are also has kind of like half or even like more than 50% discount than last year.
This is a business situation. Whenever there is a shortages, everybody just buy a lot of quantity, and when they oversupply, and then they will throw the prices and all that. But generally, our ethanol use in sanitation is one very small part. Most of the ethanol are used for industrial purposes, like doing the FMCG, doing the soap, doing the industrial processes and all that. So really, the sanitizer is the small part of the ethanol usage, generally speaking. Yeah. So, but because of the shortage, because of the situation of no more shortages, the prices is not like last time. I think during the pandemic peak, I think some are selling even 12 ringgit per liter and all that. Yeah. So now there's no such prices. I think generally it resumed back to the original. But for the additional capacity that we're about to build, Malaysia generally, with another player in Malaysia, we produce perhaps at the moment about 10-12 million liters. I think Malaysia also import another 10, 12 million liters, right, for usage. So with the additional capacity, there is always room for the Malaysian companies to rely lesser on the neighboring country or on the import of ethanol. Yeah.
Okay, there is a question here, right? I think you might want to answer this. How does the global ethanol policy affect the group's business, knowing sugarcane hold a sizable position in their company's portfolio?
Yes, that's a good question. Global ethanol. Now, ethanol has got some correlation with sugar prices. Now, for example, Brazil is the biggest sugar producer in the world. In Brazil, half the sugar are used for food consumption basis, and the other half is used for car. Basically, a biofuel car. So Brazil has already used their sugarcane produced ethanol to use for the biodiesel purposes, right? So it all depends. Generally speaking, it's always striking a balance. When the sugar price is high, like at the moment, sugar price is high, the ethanol usage is lesser because you cannot compete with the international price of sugar. When sugar price is low, there will be more usage for ethanol because they have to strike an equilibrium there. But generally speaking, ours is more sensitive to sugar. Ethanol is lesser, generally speaking, for the business that we are in, sugarcane. When we sell pesticide, we hope to have the high price for sugarcane for our pesticide product. For our manufacturing under Nylex, the ethanol, we hope to have a high ethanol prices. So we have got different businesses that requires the different pricing strategy. So that's how it generally affects our business model. In a way, I think we have got a natural hedge. When the ethanol prices is doing well, then FermPro or Nylex will be doing well. When the sugar prices is doing well, then our pesticide will be doing well. Generally, we have got a natural hedge. Yeah.
Okay, and I think finally there is a follow-up question here from, again, Sean. He asks, how does RCEP place in the company's outlook?
RCEP is the new situation, new collaboration here. We are still observing the condition of all this RCEP, but generally speaking, for all the APEC, last time we used to have APEC, we're still having the APEC. RCEP is basically the I think Australia, Mexico, and also India, Malaysia, and China, all that. So all these Asia Pacific related countries, if we are having positive tariff, zero tariff on all these regions, that will make it very, very good for our product compared to certain competitors not within the RCEP. All right. So I think we are still observing because it is a new thing that just established. So we are still observing the condition of this. But usually for all these RCEP related countries, if we have a business with them, that would be good because for non-RCEP, they will have maybe not so good tariff or not so good import duty per se. But for this is still very new, something that we are still observing.